Is one when a wrestler secures their opponent to the stretcher. Introducing first, accompanied by Charmel from Houston, Texas, Booker T.
Earlier tonight, we determined that Sunday, August the 10th, Hard Justice on pay-per-view, TNA's debut in Trenton, New Jersey, we will see Booker T, Samoa Joe, the rematch for the TNA World Heavyweight title, a championship belt that Booker wears to the ring, but a championship belt that he never earned.
Well, you heard Jim Cornette earlier in the program, said it belonged to Samoa Joe. Then Samoa Joe came back and said, keep it, Booker, keep it to Hard Justice, and just polish it for me.
And his opponent from Atlanta, Georgia, Consequences Creed.
To put it lightly, it was a fired up Consequences Creed that we heard from just moments ago in anticipation of this Impact main event. Stretcher match. Consequences Creed told Lauren, this is just what he's been looking for. He realizes this is the opportunity of a lifetime.
I'm going to tell you, I think it's the perfect time to have this opportunity. When you think of what Booker T was like at the end of Victory Road, I remembered him bloody, beat down. I don't even know if he realized that Charmel actually counted a 3. I mean, he had to lead him out of there. He can't be in the best condition for this matchup. Consequences Creed is he's young, he's in shape. Great opportunity. I'm really anxious to see how Booker T responds after Victory Road last Sunday.
Earlier, we heard Booker T place the phone call requesting an ambulance to come to the Impact Zone, and we can tell you that a stretcher has been positioned here at ringside tonight because you win this stretcher match, our main event, when a wrestler secures his opponent to the stretcher.
Well, so it's a situation where what you've got to do is make sure you've got your opponent out on his feet, to a situation where it's easy to lock him in on that stretcher and then run him out to the ambulance. Right now, you can see Booker T kind of feeling his way, kind of toying a little bit here with Consequences Creed.
You're right, feeling out process, because this is the first ever meeting between these two. Booker hand-picking Consequences Creed as his opponent, grabs the side headlock. Consequences hanging in there. Let's see if he can fight off Booker, but Booker maintains control.
And you can see the stretcher right there by the rail as it's sitting right there at ringside. So it's in a great placement where if you can get somebody outside the ring to maybe take them into the rail, take them out of their game, you can put them on and reel it right outside. Booker T, what a knife edge chop that was to Consequences Creed. I know he's excited. I know he's fired up, and I'm talking about Creed. But it's got to be intimidating the first time you're in the ring with somebody like Booker T, who's won so many world championships. Except the TNA one, I should say.
You're right. Totally dominant, however, here in the early going, opening minute plus of this match. And boy, that was a clubbing shot. Big right-handed. Creed fights back with a forearm shot out of the corner. Booker goes at him again. Creed blocks. Creed answers with another shot. Booker again, answered by Creed's forearm. How about this?
Man, I'll tell you what, Consequences Creed, impressive there, not intimidated by Booker T whatsoever. I mean, it's like he's got a counter for those blows, and look at him. Does somersault, rolls right up into the clothesline, and catches Booker T. And again, I think right here you're seeing those ill effects that Booker T has got to be feeling from Victory Road.
Can you imagine how TNA would be turned upside down if Consequences Creed could pull the upset? And we are back on Thursday Night Impact, continuation of our main event stretcher match. Could this be the Rocky story? Consequences Creed and Booker T.
I'll tell you what, during the break, it was one situation where Booker T came back into the ring, and it was almost like he was impressed with Consequences Creed, and you can see he's taking it pretty serious there as he hits him with that kick and places it perfectly into the face of Consequences Creed, and that's one thing about Booker. He always knows where and when he can use those vicious kicks, and they seem to always land. I
have just been handed a memo from Jim Cornette, the Office of TNA Management. Next week, right here on Impact, the Motor City Machine Guns Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley have challenged Beer Money to a strap match, and I can tell you that that has been accepted. That in addition to the debut of Karen's Angle, the new talk segment, plus Velvet Sky, Taylor Wilde for the knockout title, and AJ Styles, Christian Cage, Rhino versus Kurt Angle and Team 3D in the 6-man, 5-table elimination match. I'm telling you, next Thursday on Impact, loaded, one of the biggest shows in our history. Booker measures, Booker connects with the kick.
Well, you know the Guns want a piece of Beer Money after they've been strapped before, but what a kick by Booker T, taking total control of this matchup, and it just shows you, you can be fired up, you can be in shape, you can be excited, it can be a great opportunity, but there's a reason why Booker T has won championships everywhere he's been. I mean, it's just, he's so damn good.
And think of this, on top of everything else next week, we heard from Kurt Angle and Team 3D previewing the 6-man table elimination match. They told us they're not coming alone.
Not only that, and you gotta wonder if Sting's coming with them, but not only that, they told Taco to make sure and disrupt Karen's Angle segment.
Vicious axe kick, delivered with both impact and authority to the back of the head of this kid, Consequences Creed. Keep in mind, main event stretcher match. To win the match, you've got to take your opponent, wear him down just like Booker's doing now, and secure him to the stretcher. Creed in trouble, rolled out to the floor by Booker, who's going to try and follow up, and one would anticipate secure him and strap him down to the stretcher.
I'll tell you, Booker T just wore him down. He took everything that Creed gave him early on. But Booker T, now look at that, the knees. These are vicious shots to the head. I mean, they're concussion shots. I mean, your brain's rolling around inside your skull. And that's what Booker T's got to do. He's got to get him to that point. Look at him. Consequences Creed right now trying to figure out where he's at. Laying on that concrete floor, and Booker T realizes this is his opportunity. He just knocked him right onto the stretcher.
We had anticipated the feel-good moment here with Consequences Creed, conceivably pulling the Rocky upset story, but not the case, as Booker has just beaten him senseless, and you can see, put on the stretcher, here come the EMTs out to the ringside area, and Creed is being wheeled to the back.
I mean, you can see the eyes of Consequences Creed. He was out on his feet, he's staring up into space, and Booker T gonna follow it out.
Here is your winner, Booker T.
Booker T victorious in the stretcher match, and he is going to make sure that young Consequences Creed, oh, come on, Booker, enough is enough already. Outside the impact zone, raining in those big shots, those right hands, before they put him in the ambulance.
You've already won the match. He's just trying to, you see Charmel now. Oh, look at her expression, and there it is! Samoa Joe waiting for Booker T, and man, he just drilled him, shot after shot, and he's throwing him into the ambulance.
Samoa Joe takes Booker, tosses him in the back of the ambulance, and the ambulance is leaving the impact zone with Booker inside.
Who gave you this? Who gave you this?
Is there a story behind the black baseball bat? Is Sting sending a message to Samoa Joe?